Hey everybody, thanks for joining us on today's video on probably one of the rarest cars that we have ever had here at Fleming's. We've had thousands and thousands of cars come through here, and I don't want to minimize every single one that's come here because we've bought every car one at a time, loved everyone one at a time, and found a new home with someone else who could take care of it every single time. And here's where we are today. Got a little string here from us doing our little, that's how weird I am about this car. I don't want anything on it because it's so nice. When you're talking about a build quality of 2,489 Super 90 convertibles built, right? Okay, so, oh, well, Tone, that's great, only 2,400, that's still a lot of cars. Well, I'd like to point out that Buick made 572,000 cars that year, huh? Right? You say, okay, well, still, there's 2,400, that can't be that rare. You're right. But we are talking 60 and 70 years later for some of these cars, right? How many of these cars are left? Is there 500 of these left? And of those 500, are 100 at this level? This is a super, super rare car. This is what I call an investment grade car. You say, well, Tone, how could you possibly know what an investment grade car is? You're right, I don't know anything about cars. But if I Google it, it'll tell me what I need to know. My point is this. My point is, this is a beautifully restored car. It is a rare car, right? And it drives so nice. I'm standing on this side of the car where normally I stand over there just so I don't get in the way of the styling that went into it. When you talk about the fender vents that are there and the hood design, the creases in the hood here, this is important stuff that I'm telling you, not because I'm telling you, it's because everybody always says to me, wow, that's a great looking car, but you never know why it's a great looking car. So let's take a second and look at some of the things that make that. The way the wipers, instead of being here and come this way and mess up the ugliness and into the hood and like that on other cars, they sit over here and they wipe together. And so it's a very classic way to wipe like this, out, right? So it's really cool just to see stuff like that. Anyway, let's look at the paint. The paint is under these beautiful lighting systems that we have here, and you need to see the quality because the quality of it is really, really good, and I think that that's a big part of it. The chrome is another big part of it. Now listen, the chrome is a big styling feature of this car. When we walk around here, you're going to see stuff about the chrome that makes a difference. It's not on other cars. Like this one piece that comes and wraps around here. The fact that this fender here has this bullet light molded into it, right? And you see how the headlights draw into the body line and bring your eye to the fender vents. These are all the little things that I'm pointing out. When they were designing this car, this is what they're talking about and why this car is so beautiful. All right, let's take a quick peek at paint quality because this is the difference between some cars and others. Listen, every car looks great in photos, right? But when you look at a car and you look at a car in video, okay, especially high definition video, you need to be able to read every word clearly in there, crystal clear letters. The reason why is the more this is wet sanded and buffed down to a fine shine, the clearer the letters will be. That's why you've heard of the word orange peel. That's orange peel. That's paint that laid on. That's the way paint lays on without all the effort that goes into getting it really, really shiny. All right, let's take a peek under here. And even if you're not someone who's going to spend time under here, you want to see the effort that's gone into that, or if you want to go to a car show, you can do that. This has had a slight modification to it, so it comes with two things. You tell us how you want that to happen, okay? This has an upgraded 4-barrel, okay, carburetor and intake, right? Pick up almost 25 extra horsepower just by making that change. And we comes with the stock as well. I'm not sure if we can modify the other one to work. We could try, you could ask us to. I'm not sure if we can make the original work. That would be really cool to be able to keep the cool old school style air cleaner on there as well. But a couple things I want you to see, things like power steering, right? Power steering, we take for granted that that's standard on today's cars. It wasn't standard on all cars, right? And you look at the detail that's in here, from the HVAC system to the original generator that's here, to the fuel pumps that are here. Just stuff like that just says to me like somebody spent a lot of time doing this. And I don't know, you see the pictures. You don't need me to ramble on for hours about how beautiful the washer jar is, or the steering column that's painted correctly, or the fender tag that's over there that decodes correctly to the whole car. The bolts are painted a different color than the body, the way they were supposed to be. Just little stuff like that. These are the details that somebody put into the car to make it a show winner. I want to get down here just to talk about some of the styling stuff. Again, everybody says, wow, that's a beautiful car, but they never know why it's really a beautiful car. For instance, look at the effort that went into this taillight. Just the style alone of it is so different than any other car that's out there. The fact that instead of a nameplate here or an insignia somewhere else, onto the sheet metal of the car. They incorporated it into here, letting you know that's a 56 Buick Super. That's a cool piece, right? When you think about that. I just opened the trunk, and this probably has one of the most beautiful trunks. Matter of fact, the trunk may be nicer than the engine compartment when I open it and show it to you. Look at the detail from the binding around the carpets to every piece fitting properly to the side pieces here. Like, this is a finished luxury car trunk circa 1956, and look at it. First off, you could go anywhere you wanted. You could probably travel the world with enough luggage that could go in here, right, which is kind of cool. Or you take some lawn chairs and a couple of coolers and you go to a car show for an hour or two. What a great afternoon. Drive to the beach, take another couple out to dinner in the car, stuff like that. That's what really makes these cars so much fun. All right, so come join me in here, because this is one of the most beautiful interiors. Listen to that door. I want to say that right there, listen to that. And this right here sounds so nice. Sorry, I get excited about that stuff because we do this for a living every day, and you don't get in cars where the window is tight. Normally you get that secondary and third rattle, and doors don't always open so well. Just the effort that's gone into this. Keep in mind too that many of these cars back then were 3 on the trees, and you had to do whatever. This is an automatic, which is really nice. This is an aftermarket water temperature gauge. I don't think you need it. If it was me, I might ask us to go ahead and hook up the temperature gauge over here and eliminate that and clean it up. But some people are very cognitive of wanting to know exactly, and sometimes this might be more accurate than, say, maybe an old school gauge, right? It's showing 5,531 miles on it since the restoration, and it is all restored in here. So what I do love is the way the gauges are stacked. And so again, back to the original thing where you said, well, that's a nice looking car, but why? Well, here's why. Those 3 gauges then expands to the to the speedometer, and then you have gauges that flank on the end of that as well. You got your original sonomatic radio in there. This also has a hidden sound system, okay, that's been installed. This is the remote. You can throw it in the glove box. It's hidden, so you don't see it. It keeps the dash looking nice, old school, right? And if you didn't want the speakers to be seen down there at all, then we can go ahead and mount them underneath the dash as well. But anyway, imagine going out with 2 other couples of 6 of you going out in this car to dinner with the tunes on and what have you. Dinner's a very different experience at that point than jumping in the SUV that you drive every single day. Or the kids come into town and you go ahead and you throw everybody right on in. Go ahead and get on in. Seat belts are already installed. Matter of fact, you could hear them land right there on the floor. And their seat belts already in the car, and they're color coded to match. I just love the inside of this car. I don't want to ramble for days and days and days, but just look at some of the trim around there, the way the vent molds into the dash, the way this polished piece comes across here, color matched, red and white interior. It's just, how do you go wrong with a red and white interior? It's just, you can't. All right, so we'll close up this video. Keep in mind that right now, in this era, we're the beginning of the jet age, right? Here's your intakes for your jet engines, very jet oriented pieces, these protruding out, reaching out and grabbing the air and things in front of it. The call out here, instead of plastered all over, is tastefully done 1956 Buick Super, right? It's just a beautiful car, and I can go on for days and days. Even the font for the Buick on the hood is just a really great piece. Keep in mind, you're talking about that great nailhead V8 with the 4-barrel upgrade. We're probably close to potentially around 300 horsepower in this car, which is a lot of power in 1956. This car is, believe it or not, even though for its size, goes down the road really well. The transmission is just smooth as all. The wide whites look great. The 2-tone interior. The convertible top when it's up is as good looking as it is when the top is down. It's just great, you know. Anyway, I get excited about it because you don't ever get to see these and look at this car, man. See what it does to my face. It just makes me smile, makes me happy. Hope it does you too. Anyway, call us, 301-816-1000. We'll tell you all about it. Don't forget to, if you don't mind, share this with your friends and subscribe to our channel down there. And don't forget, we're going to go for a test drive video in just a minute. Make sure you watch that too.
Well, bless my soul, what's wrong with me? I met you like a man on a fuzzy tree. My friend said, man, I'm wild as a bug. I'm in love. I'm all shook up. Yeah, yeah. Well, my hands are shaky and my knees are weak. I can't seem to stand on my own 2 feet. Who do you think when you have such luck? I'm in love. I'm all shook up. Hey.